Welcome to Holistic Human Performance Podcast. My name is Jenna Bradshaw, where we talk all things holistic health, wellness, spirituality, fitness, meditation, energetics, and so much more to help you become the healthiest version of yourself. Let's dive in. This is not medical advice. This is simply to help you on your journey through health, fitness, and wellness. I hope this helps. You can complement this with anything that you are doing currently in your life. Enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Holistic Human Performance Podcast. I'm your host, Jeanette Bradshaw, and today we have a really special guest. Her name is Jeanette Stuart. This topic is going to be totally different from any topic we have thus discussed on the podcast. Jeanette and I met at an author community, part of Brave Healer Productions, and we just hit it off. She is into angels, as am I. So I'm really excited to have her on. She is the founder and owner of Angel Angles. And Jeanette will kind of guide us through like her journey and how she connected to angels and really like how it can bring us back to wholeness, which is key, especially when you're dealing with your health. So without further ado, welcome.
Thank you, Jenna. I'm so happy to be here today and talking about one of our favorite topics of angels. The way I started working with the angels is my brother was very ill, and I had grown up in the church and I knew about angels, but I thought it was like a historical thing, like, or I had to be someone like Jesus or Mother Teresa or, some sort of saint in order to work with the angels. And when my brother was so ill, um, I I needed help. I was having a hard time adjusting to the possibility of having life without him. We were only a year and a half apart, and I did all the talking for him the first couple of years of his life, and we were very close. So um, I found a woman on Facebook, Laurel Bleeden Maffei of Illuminating Souls. And this was back in Facebook in 2012 when Facebook was just words. And her words were such a healing balm to my soul during that time where I was looking for love and reassurance. I had my faith, but I just needed this angelic presence to help me through this devastating illness of my brother. He went from being able to walk 5 miles a day to not being able to walk in about 6 weeks. And so it was a lot to adjust to. But my brother passed away in 2012, and I had so much comfort from people, from family members, people that we didn't even know. And of course, the angels were key in my being able to accept that he was no longer going to be with us. And I, about a year after he passed away, I had my first angel reading with Laurel. And I didn't know what to expect. I wasn't sure if I was going to be seeing dead people, if I would lose my faith. I just didn't know what to expect. And so it was such a love fest, and it was so soothing. And I felt like, okay, I've had this year long of grief, and I felt ready to like move forward. And so after 6 months after having that reading, I was investigating how I too could help people by doing angel card readings. And so I worked with Laurel of Illuminating Souls, and she was my teacher and mentor. And before too long, I was doing angel card readings for people, and it just became such a passion. I felt like my brother was helping me on the other side as well, kind of giving me a little nudge to get out there. I
Most
retired.
definitely.
Yeah, I retired in 2015, so 8 years ago, and I knew I wanted to keep busy and write, and the angels were telling me, okay, we're going to use all that. And they guided me to write a series of devotionals called On a Path of Joy. And so there's four in that series. And I also have another devotional slash journal that is 31 days. Um, and it's called Drenched in Love. And that was divinely channeled. And I also made an angel card deck of cards based on that Drenched in Love, which was based on the May 2021 angel affirmations. I write a monthly blog for the Wellness Universe of angel affirmations. And so you can find those linked from my website or on the Wellness Universe blog. And in fact, they're being published today. So
That is so
perfect. Yeah,
cool.
I
Congrats.
yeah, I know you're we're recording and publishing it later, but anyway, that's fun.
So cool.
So Jenna, did you have any questions for me?
Of course I have questions. What I want to say though, and I want the listeners to really understand this, because there is a specific pattern that I've especially noticed as well when people go through very low points in life, whether it be somebody that was ill, like your brother, yourself, you're losing your health, your life is spiraling downwards. Who do you look to, right? Like, what help do you look to? And, some people would call on Jesus, or some people would call on angels, like, what are you looking to? Because that is going to change the trajectory of your entire journey and your healing journey, really. We're always healing.
Right.
But like what you said, where your brother is almost helping you on the other side, which, by the way, I had full body chills. So confirmation, he is. And, unfortunately, you had to go through, the passing of your brother and that grieving process, but it was to help you find this gift that you now need to share with other individuals, which is so special. And again, even though it's hard, like that adversity is actually your medicine, which is what I really want to get out to the people. It's like, me going through cancer, like, but then flipping it around, taking that adversity and teaching others, writing books, becoming an energetic healer, all things to do with holistic health. And, it in the end helps other people. So I just want to commend you for, and also just to know to other people, like, look at the adversity that she has gone through, and then she's taken that and it's redirected her life entirely, that she's doing something completely different, and she's intuitively guided, she's an entrepreneur, and just like her energy is so calming.
Well, thank you. And speaking of adversity, Jenna, I know that you're a two-time cancer survivor. And in 2019, I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
And so that rocked my world. I was shocked. I never thought I would get cancer. I mean, I was walking 10,000 steps a day and drinking green smoothies. And, I just never thought that I would have cancer.
Right.
And so one of the things that the way that the angels helped me during that journey, I mean, there was so many ways that the angels helped. But one of the main ways was that each year I select a word of the year. And for 2019, my word was flourish. And so I wanted to flourish. And 4 days into 2019 is when I received my diagnosis. And so I would ask myself several times a day, how can I flourish in this moment? And sometimes that was taking a nap. Sometimes it was drinking some tea. Sometimes it was taking an anti-nausea medicine. And the thing with pancreatic cancer is that it's such a grim diagnosis.
Yeah.
Right, right now, the survival rate is up to 12%, but that still is a very poor survival rate. And I just lost my best friend. We were friends since kindergarten, and we went to school together, kindergarten through 12th grade. I was in her wedding, and she too passed away from pancreatic cancer.
Oh,
I was
wow.
diagnosed a year before her. And so our other friend said, "Well, Jeanette, I think you got it so that you could guide her through her journey." Um, so that's another way that the angels worked in my life. And also early on in my journey, they said that cancer would be with me for a season, but her lessons would last me a lifetime. And
Oh,
when the angels talk to me, it's very concise. I'm very wordy. I'm a wordy girl. I love words. I write, I
I
love words.
feel you. I feel you.
And so they're very concise when they speak to me. And they wanted me, I was going to have the Whipple procedure. And that uh, is a very major surgery. We're talking organs removed, different systems reconfigured with different intestinal pieces and all of that. It's a wonderful procedure. I'm glad somebody thought of that. It helped
Gotta think
save
of
my
it.
life.
We gotta be grateful, right?
Yeah, exactly. And um, I was really having a hard time with the word surgery. That just kind of scared me a lot. I knew I needed to have this procedure, and the word surgery just was like really scary to me. So the angels invited me to call it Operation Hope. And
Hmm.
that just felt so much better. And they wanted me to, I had my port located here where they administer the chemotherapy. And they wanted me to name my port Esperanza. I don't speak Spanish, but Esperanza is Spanish for hope. And so,
It was a book too, Esperanza Rising.
oh, okay. So Hope Rising. And it was my hope. It was that the chemo would be able to directly reduce the size of the tumor so that I could have the surgery. And they had me draw a healing map a few weeks before my procedure, and it showed my diagnosis. And you could see this on my website. I wrote an ultimate guide to surviving pancreatic cancer in 2012. So if you guys are interested in it, and Gena, maybe you can drop the link to that. But
Yep, I'll put that in the
in,
show notes.
in the show notes. So anyway, it had the diagnosis of, and they wanted me to draw a healing stream. So it was the diagnosis, it was the chemo, it was the surgery, and it was flourishing,
Wow.
vibrant health. And that just felt so magical. And I don't consider myself an artist, but I drew that and I took a picture of it and took it to the hospital with me
Beautiful.
and showed the nurses, and they're like, "Wow, I didn't know you were an artist." And I'm like, "I'm not an artist."
You
But
probably channeled it though.
oh yeah, it was magical. And
Hmm.
when I show it to people, they're like, "Wow," because it had how I was feeling, how I wanted to feel. Um, it had affirmations on it, all kinds of magic. So you guys can look at it on that blog. Um,
That's beautiful. Now, I know I get this question a lot. How do you connect with the angels, right? So I know a lot of people will be like, well, do they have specific voices? Like, how do you see them? But like everyone's different. So, there's different clairs, right? So how do you like connect with them? Do you have to set up your space? Is it automatic? How do you do that?
Um, right now I feel like, I just kind of tune into them, and I'm a feeler, so I'm clairsentient. That's my go-to, that I can feel the angels with me. I just ask them to be with me and they're right there. Because the angels, we all have at least two guardian angels and other angels that help us throughout our lives and come and go. Like we had talked earlier about my brother on the other side is one of my spirit guides. And I connect with oracle cards. That's just a tool, and
Right.
it's not that everybody has to use those, but that works for me. And when I was first learning to use the oracle cards, I would draw a card like every 10 minutes, like, what should I do now? What should I do now? What should I do now? When I was learning. And now I've got to a place where I trust that I'm being guided and that the way will be shown to me, like embracing my inner guidance and inner wisdom.
Mm,
Um, and I'm traveling. So I live in California and I'm in Massachusetts, but I also brought two angel card decks with me. Just because, that's my fun tool. And I thought, oh, I'll do a reading for my daughter-in-law when we have a chance. So um, that's how I connect. But people can be, like you had mentioned, the different clairs. There's four major ones. There's clairsentient, that's feeling, like you hear people say, like, oh, have goosebumps or I have angel bumps.
mhm.
When I said something, you did that. You're like, oh my goodness, yeah, I feel that, the tingles. So
Yeah, I'm
clairsentient.
I'm a feeler. I can, since I do energy healings and things, but like I've always had this, like like I can feel, people holding my hands. I can feel like hands on my head. I can feel like a lot. So
Yeah.
I definitely resonate with that.
Yeah. And if you don't feel that, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just you're sensing the angel's presence in a different way.
Right.
And it could be um, clairvoyance, like seeing the angels or um, auras of different colors or sensations. It could be seeing it with your actual eyes, or could it be sensing the angel's presence? Um, so there's clairaudience. Also, it's like hearing the words spoken to you. I have a friend that hears, like, my husband was in the hospital and she didn't know, and she passed this church that was nearby, and she heard the words Jeanette Stuart, and she knew something was going on. So it wasn't just my
Oh.
first name, it was my first and last. And she knew something was going on, and she reached out to my sister to see what was happening. So she hears words um, like spoken to her, but also you could hear words of a song. You could hear snippets of conversations that other people are having, and you just know, oh, that was a message for me. Um, so there's the clear feeling, clear vision, and clear audience, clear hearing, and then there's clear knowing. So that is like you just have inner wisdom. You feel like the um, divine coming to you and through you, um, because all we have the wisdom inside of us, but a lot of times we doubt it, or we think we're making it up, and
Right.
or we're crazy or something. But the angels, they have a really good sense of humor. And there's different signs. Like some people find dimes, some people see clouds in feather formations or something like that. And the angels are always trying to get our attention. Um, a lot of times we're so busy in our day that we don't think about it. Um,
And they can't break free will. So if you don't invite them in, then they cannot like break that
right,
free
right.
will.
Right, right. You have to ask for their assistance. and they're right there. Like Jenna said, she feels the presence, she feels the hands on her head or being held. Um, and so the angels are just right there, and it's nothing to be scared of, and you can just ask. You don't have to do an elaborate prayer of, you have to do it this way or else it's not going to work. You can
Right.
just say, angels, help me with this situation. And that's why I love the oracle cards, because that just really resonates for me. I love words and I love pictures and artwork. And so that just really works for me. I've created some angel cards of my own that are on my website as well. I have 3 sets of those. And that's just been really fun, just living in passion.
Yep.
I had a career of HR and finance, my 36 years of working full time. So it's great to do the work of my soul.
Yeah. And it's a complete 360. Did you ever think that you would be doing this one day?
No, no. I never thought it in a million years. And I thought, what will people think? I was so afraid to put my name on my website. I thought, what difference does it make? I'm giving inspiration to the world, but it made a huge difference when I embraced it and people could identify with me and my words, as a soothing balm, like Laurel's words were in 2012 to me, when my brother was ill. Um, and that's the thing, we each have our area of passion. And so when you're in that zone, you know it because you feel fabulous. Your joy, your light, you're lit up, and people can sense it and know that, oh wow, and you see it like in different ways. People are creative, like maybe they're a wonderful cook and that lights them up. Maybe they're an artist or a musician. um, we all have our different talents. And when we could be the most unique us, when I could be the most Jeanette Jeanette, that's when I'm in the flow and things are just zipping along. So I invite you to think about that, of what brings you your greatest joy, and to put some of that into your day. It doesn't have to be a huge amount. It could just be a few minutes, but it does change the trajectory of your day and improves the quality of your life.
I completely agree with that. Taking a deep dive into spirituality and like just learning all that I can, it has helped me tremendously on my healing journey and get to meet people like you, which is really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I'm so glad. Yeah. Uh,
So, yeah, as we kind of like wrap up, what would be some words of wisdom that you would like to leave the listeners?
well, I would like to let people know, as their journey, to look for the blessings in your life, look for the miracles, because they're always there. And it doesn't have to be a huge thing. It could be a beautiful flower that you see in the day, um, that just brings you so much joy. And when you're looking for the beauty or the miracles, you're going to find it. When you're looking for what's wrong or what's terrible in the world or your life, you're going to find that too. So,
Mhm.
to invite yourself to look for the miracles. And if you are ill or taking care of someone that is ill, just make sure that you ask for the help that you need, because people really do want to help. And it's just a matter of making your wishes known, because it's a blessing for others to help. And people want to help. So, just to allow and to receive that help. It's hard because we're really good at giving. but the receiving is a whole different ball game. And I really learned that when I was going through my cancer journey, was that so many people wanted to help, and I couldn't do things that I had been able to do before, and I needed help, and I just had to open up to accept that. So,
That's beautiful. Thank you.
you know,
Jeanette, where can people find you?
so I have a website at angel-angles.com. Um, Also, I have a group on Facebook, and that that private group is, or public group, sorry, public group is Angel Circle of Gratitude, and we focus on gratitude, love, appreciation, devotion, and delight. And you're welcome to come play if you're there on Facebook. I also have a partnership with a friend of mine called Wellbeing and Wonder, and we're guiding folks through a year-long journey of self-discovery this year. And each month we have a different topic. And so we're finishing up our nature module, and then June is going to be all about celebration.
Love that. Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you, Jeanette. I'm
Thanks.
so
Thank
happy you could
you.
come.
Thank you for having me. I'm tickled to be here.
Yeah, no problem. All right, guys, if you like this episode, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you.